there's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Trucks song.
You know, he told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi Trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It was midnight in Harlem, and it caught our attention, man, and we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 104, or 184, rather. I am Adam Choate. To follow the show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks podcast on Instagram. Please subscribe on YouTube, like, share, comment. All that stuff is appreciated. Please do the same on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll definitely be putting out an audio version of this episode as well. For sure, get that out later today, tomorrow, definitely soon. We're on Odyssey and iHeartRadio as well. Now, and Happy New Year, everyone. I think this is the first episode of the new year. The band's taking a little break, and I suppose I've been doing the same, but still talking to all y'all fans out there and posting stuff and keeping an eye on news from the band. We have seen some, obviously we saw the tour schedule come up, and that's what we're here to discuss and dive into that. But there's some other things the band is up to and other shows I've seen pop up, so we can get into all of that stuff. Patreon.com / TTB podcast to support TTB podcast, patreon.com / TTB podcast. Your support goes towards helping me keep the lights on here for sure, as well as at the higher tiers, a portion of your contribution will go to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, supporting music education and getting instruments for kids. And that's like super helpful. Now, I did see on their social media and on their website, they're doing a lot of stuff to help with the recovery here in LA. I'm okay, by the way, everyone. I was lucky enough to not be, near too close to any of the fire, and especially in the Palisades. I was a little closer to the one in the Palisades. I had my stuff packed ready to go just in case, but luckily I've been lucky. Not everyone has been, and it's quite devastating to see the destruction of the fire, but it's also inspiring to see a lot of the help and volunteer stuff and causes that are being supported around town, including the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. But thank you, Kathleen, Stacy, Troy, Daniel, Mariah, and Marion, and Bo for supporting the show. I appreciate that. Let's get into the recap, or not recap, rather. We're not recapping anything. The preview. We are previewing the 2025 tour, and we got David Flamm, Mariah and Christopher, and Garrett returning, and newcomer Kevin, and maybe some others to join us soon. So let's bring everyone in. What's cooking, y'all?
Hey, Adam.
Everyone see me, hear me? Anyone in the chat, let me know if anyone's too loud or you don't hear me well, or there's an echo or any technical stuff. I think StreamYard now has some newer features, or maybe older features that I'm just discovering, where I could kind of control people's volumes a little more and give you a good sounding show over here. Good to see everyone. Happy New Year. What's your doggy's name again over there, Mariah and Christopher?
This is Sunny.
Sunny. Did I ever meet Sunny or ask what Sunny's name was? I feel like I
don't know. I don't know if Sunny's ever been on.
I don't think she's ever been on.
Yeah, I ask everyone, is your
she's happy to
name Kofi or something like that, or
no, it's just Sunny Bridges.
A TTB related name. There's been a few of those out there for sure. I want to start with Kevin. Good to meet you. Good to connect. You have not been on before, unless I'm tripping.
No, this is my first time. So yeah, glad to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that for sure.
For sure. I've been following for a while. Love what you do. So
Oh, thank you. That means a lot for sure. I want to hear a little bit about your TTB journey. How did you discover the band? What's your musical history, fandom? Do you play? Do you sing? Tell me about your music background.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm very musically inclined, but I like to think I have a good ear. Heard Tedeschi Trucks band for the first time back probably 2013. Like a lot of people, heard Midnight in Harlem and saw them that summer live in Charleston, South Carolina, and have been a diehard fan ever since. Saw my 20th show last year here in Tulsa. Got to see them in Chicago 2 years ago. So just blown away, literally life-changing stuff for me. Kind of grew up, my dad, I grew up in South Carolina, and my dad kind of shoved, the Allman Brothers band down my throat. And I didn't appreciate it for so long. And so it's just wild now just to go back and listen and be so into TTB. And yeah. So
you did or didn't appreciate the Allman Brothers right away?
I think when I was really young, he's like, listen to the Whipping Post, like it'll change your life. And I think it took a while, but I definitely
get
know what
that.
I'm talking about now. Yeah. You're 12 years old and, so.
The Whipping Post is like a big one to start with.
It's a lot to take in. There's a lot of meat there. So
when you're 12, I mean, and I don't know your background or anything, your history, but there's only so much suffering, I suppose, if you're lucky in this life, one does before they're 12 years old. So maybe it's harder to connect with certain of these really deep, bluesy songs, really about suffering. Greg Allman is someone who suffered.
Yeah.
A lot. So, maybe as you're a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, you can't totally relate to it, but it hits you when it hits you when it hits you. You said you're in Tulsa. Is that where you're based out of?
Yeah, living in Tulsa now. Lived out on the East Coast, grew up on the East Coast, been out in Tulsa for a while. So yeah, we see them here, once a year if we're lucky at the Tulsa Theater. So.
Because you mentioned a bunch of shows. Do you drive to shows? You fly to shows? Whatever you can do, however you can make it happen, kind of thing. Whatever's closest or makes.
Yeah,
sense.
It's gotten pretty bad. I mean, I've seen them all in Chicago. Went down to Florida to Moon Crush a couple years ago. Seen them in Charleston. I'm up to KC, Dallas. So fortunate, very fortunate, and looking forward to a few shows this year. So.
We always say how the best show is the current one, the next one, et cetera, et cetera. But what would maybe be 1, 2, 3 highlights for you for shows over the year? What jumps out at you?
Yeah, so 2 years ago in February, we went up to Chicago and did the fan club pre-sale. Got second row 2 nights in a row, and man, one night we were in front of Gabe's speaker and just blown away. And then the second night, we were kind of up front there with Derek and Susan, and Mike and Mark opened the show, and it was just crazy. So.
Yeah, we always talk about, as you know, the being up close, and the big benefit is that you see everyone's expressions and more the details of the interaction between the band, and that just does make for just a better, richer experience. Like we don't even know where to look half the time when we're watching the band.
I agree. Yeah, I leave just mind blown every time.
Where should we start this conversation? I could pull up, I guess.
I'll tell you where to start. What we want to know. We want to know what shows are you going to, Adam? That's what we want to know.
What shows plural? You're asking?
Yeah. Where are you going to be?
Well, I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm playing the other 60 shows on. How many shows are there here?
I think there's 49. They're trying 49. To make it 50, but they got 3 nights for Sun, Sand, and Soul, but they're only playing 2 unless they're showing up for the 3rd night without telling anybody.
Well, maybe they should add an extra show.
That would be incredible.
Add a show on.
Kevin said he was at Moon Crush. That was the precursor to the Sun, Sand, and Soul, right? I was at that show.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was a great time for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking that when he was talking, I'm like, I might bet some of these people have stood next to you, behind you, seeing you, who are listening, watching, or on this call, in this. So
just stream. One show? You have tickets for one show, Adam? That's
it. Maybe they should add August 14th, Los Angeles. I'll see what else comes up. I mean,
there's still tickets. There's still tickets left in Missoula, so
I might end up there.
Yeah.
You guys are both you're not going to Missoula. Well, why don't we what shows let you guys tell me what shows you guys all scooped up. We can start with Mariah and Christopher.
Well, we have Missoula, we have Red Rocks, we have both Bend shows, and we're contemplating the Gorge. Don't know.
On the fence.
Yeah.
So say that again. I'm looking at I'll pull it up.
We'll do it in order. So Red Rocks, and then it says Bonner, Montana. That's just, it's like
Missoula.
A gas station and a couple houses. It's very small. And then the amphitheater right next to Missoula. And then Bend. And then we're contemplating the Gorge, which is Quincy.
Quincy, Washington.
I'm struggling with the co-bill at the Gorge.
Yeah. Which is
Whiskey
Myers. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, they have a big following. I'm not super familiar either. The Gorge is just a big. Has anyone been there? Have any of you guys been there?
No.
It's a big undertaking. It's in the middle of nowhere. You have to camp or you have to drive to sleep. It's beautiful. It's great. But it's just a big undertaking, so you have to commit. It's not like, oh yeah, we'll just like pop in and hang out and then go to our hotel. Like you have to plan. So I don't know if we're gonna feel up for it after Bend, but maybe. It's kind of on the way home.
Nice. Yeah, no, this is quite a tour that they've put together. I wonder if they're gonna be pushing playing new music. I'm sure we'll get an update with that. I assume that's what the band has been working on as well, besides putting this together. Garrett, did you scoop up anything so far?
The show in Franklin, Tennessee in October. I think that's only about 2 hours from me, so I'm gonna do that. That's with Little Feat.
Yeah, I see Little Feat. Mm-hmm.
And I can speak to Whiskey Myers. I've seen them a few times. They put on a rockin' show. That will be a good double bill with them. I don't think you guys will leave disappointed at all. They are fantastic live as far as I'm concerned.
It's not that I don't think it's that we always or often or typically leave disappointed necessarily by the opening act. This band opens us up to many great acts or has great double bills and openers and Wheels of Soul stuff back in the day. It's that we're all just partial. I think maybe I don't speak for all of us, but we want an evening with 2 sets as much as possible, and we could live with that every night. I would be happy with 2 sets, evening with no guests every night.
Agreed, 100%.
But that's not the most fun, easy thing for the band. It's fun for the band, to play with other people and share some of the load. Obviously.
That's a good reason to come to the Montana show because it's an evening with.
Right. Are any of these subjects?
Oh God, it's even you got you.
Another reason to come.
I can see that. We're
coming.
I like going. I like going to the if I can, some of the more off the beaten path or less quintessential Beacon, Red Rocks, Warner type show. Not that I've been to all those. I would go to any show, obviously. But, Montana's intriguing. I have a good time when I go see them in San Diego, a little different type of vibe than LA or some of these other places.
I think they love, I don't know, but I think they love this venue. It's outside. It's right in the middle of the mountains. It's gorgeous. It's small. It's intimate. Everyone is just, there's a pit, so there isn't the whole sit stand thing. I think they love it and they keep coming back. So I think it's a good one to catch.
Yep. The LA is back at the Greek Theater as well. Cool spot. I like that place for sure.
Where are you? August 13th. Okay, I see you.
They should. What's going on the 14th? Some LA business stuff probably or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should extend.
Yeah, maybe they have some other.
Kevin, what you buy? You get tickets to any of these?
Yeah, so far I'm just going to hit up Rogers, Arkansas in May, and then Tulsa. Got to do that every year, an evening with, good time. And then hopefully we'll hit the East Coast in the fall. We'll see. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's not like if we missed or, skipped the fan pre-sale, the earliest, that it might be, it would be possible to get tickets. Is this the end of the line for all of us? What we committed to right now is what we're committed to for the rest of the year. When there's a will, there is a way. Is there not? Yeah. I'm intrigued by Montana. I will say that.
All right.
Oh, and what is this? State Line, Nevada?
Yeah, that's
where's that? Is that near
that's
Vegas?
Lake Tahoe. That's Lake Tahoe.
Oh, that's Lake Tahoe. All right. Well, I mean, Lake Tahoe and Phoenix are not, or even Albuquerque are not too insane drives if I want to keep those in the back pocket. And I like those kind of off the beaten path shows. Okay. Syracuse would be fun. My alma mater, the university there. That'd be cool to see a Q show.
We look at Ann and I look at them. We try to find weekends and stuff when we can do. We're both still fully employed, so sometimes it's hard we try to find weekend spots that we can do. And,
right. Speaking of that LA show, I think is on like a Wednesday or a Thursday.
That's what hit. So Garrett, we're not going to be in Franklin because it's in the middle of the week, so that one kind of ran us away. But
that's the first time ever in LA since I've been a fan that they've had a show, I think, on a Wednesday. Maybe Thursday, but only I can recall only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They've probably done Thursday too, but
well, I can tell you what we're hitting up, Adam.
Yeah, go for it.
Miramar Beach. We got that.
It's a whole weekend pass thing, right?
Yeah, the big Sun, Sand, and Soul. It's awesome. Again, if you went last year, you got to be going back this year. And Kevin, if you went to the other thing, it's a must. It's a must.
Done. Yeah, great vibes.
It's addicting. Unfortunately, I sold our tickets to Asheville. That's the one that got rescheduled from the storm, and it's now in the middle of the week. So before it was on a Saturday. It was actually on Susan's birthday last year. It was going to be, so I had to grab those tickets. And the Beacon is still in the air, but it was tough to get tickets for that. So we're not on board there, and we don't have tickets to. But Mariah and I have been in discussions that Ann and I are going to come to Red Rocks and to Bonner or Missoula, and we're going to try to put that together with a trip to Glacier National Park. So we're going to try to, Ann and I are going to try to do a whole week vacation and hit 3 shows and some nature. So when she keeps talking about the Bonner location, it just it's getting me more excited.
Bonner is the Missoula show is Bonner. That's one in the same.
Yeah. So hopefully we get that, and then at the end of the run, we get a little something in the Southeast. We're doing Charlotte, North Carolina on a Saturday night, so we can drive from Atlanta. It's only about 3 hours, and then wrapping it up with what a lot of people said was the best show of the year last year, St. Augustine, and they're doing 2 nights this year, and it is evening with. So that's pretty exciting to get back to St. Augustine. I'm excited about that. So
I wonder if that's going to be the end of. I mean, it looks like just like very choice, a specific choice of locations to bookend with those the Sun, Sand, and Soul, Miramar, and the St. Augustine, Florida shows. I wonder if October 25th could be the end of touring, or maybe they'll do something else. Maybe could be Europe, could be overseas, because there's still.
I'm hoping that they don't leave the Fox Theater in Atlanta off the. I'm hoping that maybe that gets added there at the end, but maybe
right
not.
There might be
Atlanta and the Fox. That'd be the first time in about 8 years that they haven't. But
we had this same conversation, I think, a year ago or something like, "Oh, there's no Atlanta dates. I don't see them," and then they add more dates. So October 20. I don't think the touring is ending. Yeah. October 25th, especially if they're going to be starting to play newer music, on this tour, or I don't know, when to anticipate an album.
I thought we heard something that obviously they're probably recording and stuff now, but it seemed like I heard something that maybe the new stuff was going to come out later in the year. But we do know that they've been known to play new stuff before it's released, going back to stuff off of Signs and some of that stuff. So, maybe we will get some new stuff, but maybe not a full release of an album until maybe, because there are some big gaps in there too, right? May to July.
Yeah.
What's going on
September to October. So I don't know if they're doing more recording. Don't know what could be in store, but
well, didn't Gabe said that they're doing recording?
Yeah,
He said right now they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he said they're going to be doing recording here and there this summer. So that's probably what they are doing.
Yeah. Question is, when will they release it? Right. I think that's kind of that new stuff is brewing, but when will they release it? But we do have one show before that tour starts, Adam. And are you guys really coming? Mariah, Chris, are y'all coming?
Tickets. Yeah.
You're coming?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Dickey tribute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
In Macon.
Yeah.
He's
right.
He's been immersed in pre-sales for 2 days that he forgot.
Yeah, but so that's going to be, that lineup is just, I mean, you talk about a tough ticket to get. I felt blessed. And again,
I tried.
What was nice is it was face value. It was, you clicked on it. If you got it, it was face value. And by the time I got a pair, and I wasn't greedy, I clicked about halfway back figuring these things are going so fast, just get something. And by the time I did my transaction, I went back in and it was gone.
Yeah.
So like in 3 minutes, it was, and now the secondary prices are outrageous, but people nearby, I think if they wait to the last minute, they might be able to, because it's going to be, I mean, it holds like less than 3,000 people. So
dude, that was the question I was going to ask. You were like on the same.
It's small. It's small, Adam. And TTB has played there many a time in Macon, and it's going to be pretty exciting, I think. So it's something to tide us over until the tour finally starts. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is going to be super special. As soon as I saw this, I mean, the flyer is great too, and the artwork, it really captures the spirit, and there's something, this artwork is a lot of these posters have a certain timelessness and nostalgia and throwbackiness to the 60s and 70s, and there's just, I don't know, it makes me feel more connected to Dickey and the Allman Brothers and the history. The artwork does such a great job. I love the gator. I mean, I'm looking at these for the first time. The mushrooms, the gators.
Well, yeah, Dickey was born in Florida, right? So,
weren't there some stories of I forget in Alan Paul's Allman? I'm sure there's been books, and all these Allman Brothers experts could tell me if there's been Dickey wrestling gator stories. But I mean, he was definitely the most of all of. I do recall reading that he was the most outdoorsy, woodsman-y, hunter, type of, dude compared to the rest of the guys in the band.
Yeah, Mariah, Christopher, have y'all been to Macon before?
No, I've not.
No,
awesome.
A long time ago. I might as well say no.
Yeah, well, you got to go to the big house. You got to go to the cemetery. You go to
Capricorn.
What's the cafeteria?
The
H&H. Yeah, we have the map.
Yeah,
I don't know how we're gonna do it all. We'll do half of it.
It's not that big.
No, it's not. It's easy to get around. You can do it all pretty. You can do it pretty quick.
In a day, yeah.
And I'm sure they'll have some after show. There's a couple other little theaters and stuff. I'm sure it'll be a whole weekend of other stuff. I haven't heard of anything, but some other stuff going on. So, I mean,
you're gonna spend a long time in the Big House Museum. It's not huge, but if you guys, I'm guessing, are the type to want to look at every little exhibit and document, and there's so many things that you could really dig deep on. It's small, but you almost have to go back to like look at every single, artifact they have. It's such a cool place. The downstairs is like all like a museum to the Allman Brothers, and the upstairs is like untouched from when they lived there. So you get kind of like that best of both worlds. Like you feel like you're going to this, you're living in history, but you're also studying it, at the same time. That makes sense.
That's so cool. Yeah, we're excited.
I'm excited for you. We definitely got to get, I hope to have all, the three of you guys on again to recap that. And I want to hear about your overall making experience too, for sure.
Yeah, it's great. When I'm wondering a little bit about this is about drummers. Besides J-Mo, there's no, I wonder who else is going to be, playing the skins at this show, and whether it's, there's going to be even like a house band, or are they just going to, it's just going to be, a mixture of these guys. I'm hoping so. I mean, there's plenty right there to cover it all.
It could be a house band of sorts as well.
I'm wondering if maybe Dwayne Trucks shows up if he's not on the road with Panic somewhere, and he's the other drummer to J-Mo. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be awesome.
Check the dates. We could do that. See where if people are booked or not booked on these.
Well, I know Widespread has been slowly releasing some dates where they're doing multiple night runs. I haven't seen anything around that date that I can remember, so maybe we'll get lucky and they won't be on tour, and he'll make what maybe they're going to call a surprise appearance or something.
I think they just released a bunch of dates like yesterday or today.
Okay.
Well, hopefully there's no May 28th on there.
Yeah. Suzanne saying the upstairs at the big house is intense. It is intense. It's because it's so untouched. You feel like it's not just like, oh, I don't want to like disturb any of like Dwayne Allman's belongings, but it's like it feels like you don't want to disturb someone's because someone's like still like living in there. And no, it's a cool feeling. You don't feel like you're intruding. Everyone who goes there.
I've been in there.
You can't go there and not be a fan. Like, how would you even find it?
It's like I've been in there a few times, and it's like you don't want to leave the house. I want to go back and look at the guitar again. I want to look at that picture again. I want to see that again. It's like you don't want to walk out. You're like, you feel it when you're in there. It's hard to leave. Is what for me anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a simultaneously like super special and has like a spiritual quality to it, but at the same time it's just so everyday, and it's just like, oh, it's just a house on a street, and it's just kind of nondescript in a way. But what were you gonna say, Garrett?
I was gonna say I went through. I think it was in 2009, and one of the things that got me was walking into Dwayne Allman's bedroom, and they said that was the way it was when he was there, and they haven't changed anything. And man, I got chills because in the speakers they were playing a recording of him talking, and I was standing in there, and I'm like, man, I have chills just being in the room. I know he's not here, but hearing his voice was that was amazing. Standing in that room, hearing him talk about it, and it was cool. It's a neat experience. I can't wait to be down there for the Dickey thing and go through it again and be like, oh, well, they changed this up, or they've added this, and just see what they've done. I know it's been forever since I've been there, but it'll be neat just the same.
Yeah, some of the instruments I know, like depending on who owns them, could be loaned from a museum, from other family members. So they do have sometimes rotating exhibits as well.
Right, and I mean, if certain guitars aren't there, we probably will have a good idea of where they might end up later that night.
That's a good point as well.
I certainly hope so, Gary. That would be awesome. So you're coming down as well, huh? You were able to get a ticket?
I got real lucky in the pre-sale. I had to click about 6 times on different seats before I could get one, but yeah, I got real lucky and got it. And then I did like you, David. I completed my transaction, went right back, and it was sold out. I'm like, man, that was intense, but hey, I'm in.
I felt so blessed to get. I was like, there's a lot of people that didn't, that were trying and didn't get. So I know felt very lucky to have gotten some.
I feel like it was meant to be for all of us, true fans who really want to be there that got lucky and got them. I feel like, maybe there was just something a little extra going on there when we were looking around. Somebody was looking out for us.
No, for sure. It makes me happy to know that, like, not just because I know you guys, but just knowing hardcore fans who really, really want to be there are going to be there, and weren't priced out or chased out, or every seat is going to a celebrity or a corporate person in certain circumstances. So it's good to know that the real fans. It's kind of it's an all-star lineup, but at the same time, it's going to be an all-star fan, like you guys are like all-star fans. That's what made me think about what was the benefit that Dave Matthews did with
Soulshine.
with Warren and Derek and Susan and other artists.
Yeah,
like
Soulshine.
Because fans of those artists are kind of so tuned in to like we're all following what Derek and Susan are up to. So that's probably how some of us found out about like Soulshine, and that Derek and Susan were a part of it. So when you had this show, I think you had the like great fans from all these different like bands. You had the crazy Dave Matthews fans, you had the crazy TTB fans, and you had the Warren fans, and they all like it was like the all-star fans. So I think that's like a big deal when you have like
and the Goose fans.
Right, yeah, when you have the most hardcore fans.
Goose fans are intense.
Yeah, I see that. I see them, but they're intense.
In what regard? They dance?
No,
They
he's wearing
just
the shirt,
love
Adam. I'm referring
Goose.
to his shirt, so they must be intense, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see Goose in May?
Yeah.
In May in Spokane.
Another pre-sale.
Nice.
Today.
No, like I wasn't really familiar with Goose before, catching them recently at these the Soulshine, and then the television Kennedy Center honors and all that. Yeah, but I'm down. I'm down with Goose for sure. What's the lead the lead vocalist? Is it Rick Mir? How do you say his name?
Mitaratanda.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Yeah. No, he's a talented dude, and that's sometimes, at least for me, and maybe like I think me and David have had this conversation where it's like, all these jam bands, they're talented and they're amazing musicians, but not every single one of them has like a amazing virtuosity filled, soulful vocalist, and I think that really adds a lot to Goose, with Rick bringing some really the smooth vocals, and that's like, that's a big part of why I love TTB, is because Susan and the other vocalists are just super powerful. They're I don't call them a jam band, but they're very they're the most soulful jam band, if you want to call them that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like old school jam band. TTB is like how Allman Brothers were jammy. And then there's like Goose is like modern, more like Fish and stuff, right? Rick is a really good guitar player, but then you watch when he's on stage with Derek and you see him looking at Derek, and you can just see it.
Yeah.
He's just looking at him in awe of Derek, just because he's,
I always say that the pros who only very occasionally maybe see and hear Derek live, they're more caught off guard and surprised by how awesome he is, compared to us who are just like listening and watching and going to shows and just very tuned into all things TTB 24/7. Like, whereas these other artists who maybe, they don't play with them as much, they're like, holy shit, I can't believe it. I thought I know you're good, but wow, damn, I didn't expect that. Just seeing all the reactions, obviously, from Trey as well over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been in a brothers kind of thing, I guess maybe leading up to this, but I was listening on my walk the last couple of days to Allman Brothers from the Wanee Festival in Florida 2010 show popped up. And you talk about jamming, somebody you just don't realize I was listening, it was a version of Desdemona. And I mean, there is a jam between Derek and Warren that goes off, for about 7 or 8 minutes that just was mind blowing. I mean, just absolutely, just the two of them together. They are peanut butter and jelly. They are, Those two bring out the best of each other. And it's interesting now when I go back and I looked at them for a long time and the brothers, and it, it's kind of old hat. Now when they get together, it's more rare.
Yeah.
And they just really, and it made me think of Adam. I don't think you've had her on your show. Sue Sanderson. Do you know Sue Sanderson?
I think I've had some correspondence with her, but I don't think she's been on.
She is amazing. And I'm so excited. Guys, she's coming to the Macon show. And I told her, I said, I've got to meet you. I've got to say hello. Thank you for your videos. I've plugged them on here before. Again, she has the videos from Warren and Derek from the Boston show, the garden party. It's 35 minutes of the best music I've ever heard in my life.
Into the Mystic? Is that the Into the Mystic?
And Dreams and Blue
Right.
Sky. If you listen to it, you will not be able to stop listening to it. I'm like once a week, I'm listening to that 35 minutes. And to see Derek and Warren, it's just, they're almost touching heads there. And then I look at them on stage years ago. They were so far apart. They were each like into their, just such a different feel than the special of them. When you're doing it a lot frequently, now it's so infrequent that it's so incredible. So I'm so excited for May 28th to see them again, just doing their thing with all these other. And then there was a jam on Elizabeth Reed. O'Teal went off on a 5-minute bass solo, and then they went to, Butch and J-Mo and I forget his name, the percussion.
Mark.
This was what show? This was what show you're referring to?
2010 from Wani. You can find it on YouTube.
Allman Brothers.
Allman Brothers, and they went off on about a 7-minute drum thing. It was, and then what's amazing is the drums then ended up going back into O'Teal, and he went right from Elizabeth Reed into Whipping Post. It was such a cool flow. I never heard it like that. And it just, again, 2010, they had Johnny Winter guests, a lot of widespread. Garrett was guesting on this. And I just finished the Whipping Post. I haven't heard the encore. I've still got about 20 minutes of encore to check out. And I don't know what's coming. But the Desdemona and the new stuff that they recorded, with Derek.
The one album. Hitting the Note.
Yeah, right. Hitting the Note. That album is freaking unbelievable.
Dude, I've been on like this instrumental illness kick, and also there's that 39-minute version from from Walnut Creek and Raleigh 81003. They put out a live album from there. But I don't know, I love that. I would love to hear TTB do instrumental illness, maybe in a partial lineup or something. I don't know if it would be slightly different, obviously, if Susan was playing on guitar with Derek. But I think it could be done, or they could do a version of that song. That would be cool to see that come out. But yeah, the chemistry between Warren and Derek, I think just because they're so skilled, they're so skilled, and they have such diversity of skills, but they have such great feel also. Like they can both play lead and rhythm. They could both play these sort of interweaving leads together as well, and that's always cool. Like kind of like, a little bit of like Ronnie Wood and Keith Richards sometimes do, like on like a Beast of Burden type thing. But obviously on a whole
not even close.
No, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. A whole nother level. Just in terms of like weaving lead guitar, licks is something super cool that they can do, and and also slide. Obviously,
I was gonna say they both do slide as well. So you got slide, rhythm, lead. You got, and it's just like they know where each other is going.
Right, it's so natural, and it's so organic. And I wanted to add, speaking to back to the who might appear at the show at the tribute. Suzanne saying Widespread Panic doesn't have any dates.
There we go.
Those dates. And she was also mentioning the Whipping Post at Soulshine was totally unreal. It really was, and I kind of didn't expect it to be, because, like, I don't know, it's like we've heard the song a billion times. We're spoiled by TTB's, doing it too. And how could it's such a difficult song, not for any band and any act and musicians who have maybe played together as much to do, but it really was super powerful and moving and really blew me away. And I need to listen to that. It's been a minute since I listened to that, but I was going back to that quite a bit after that came out. That, yeah, definitely check out that Soulshine whipping post. Totally unreal for sure. Yeah. No, it was powerful.
Yeah, David, I was at Wani that year, and I remember that you talking about that show. It brings me right back. That was an amazing night. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, out of all the Allman Brothers shows I saw, that one was by far and probably my top 3 because that was that night was on.
You were there. That's all. I didn't go to Wani till 2013. I was there 13 and 14. The last 2 years they were there. Wow, you were there in 10. Did you see Derek and Susan jam with Johnny Winter on the mushroom stage?
I was actually I was
I hate you. I'm so
that.
envious. I hate you. I'm so envious.
That's the one. That's the one time I got to see Johnny Winter, and I was like, man, because I was looking at the lineup, and I'm like, oh, there's somebody on the other stage I want to see, but I'm like, I can't miss Johnny Winter, and yeah, lo and behold, Susan came out and Warren came out, and it was funny. Warren was getting his stuff ready, and Johnny Winter got ready, and he gets on the mic and he goes, "Are you ready to play yet, fat boy?" And Warren looked at him and smiled, and then they took off into what they were going to do. But man, that comment by Johnny was hilarious, and I think about that from time to time. I'm like, I don't think anybody else could have said that and gotten away with it, but Johnny Winter pulls that out, and Warren had the biggest grin on his face. It was great.
No, I appreciate you sharing. That's
mentioned that is an unbelievable story. Warren had mentioned that Johnny was one of his 2 guitar idols growing up, and I was fortunate. The first time I saw Johnny Winter, it was in 1974, and he was my guitar god growing up. When I was a teenager, to me, Johnny Winter was the man, and the only one that's moved me more than him is Derek now. Yep. But Johnny was the man, and I have had a chance to briefly chat with Derek about Johnny Winter. I didn't realize the number of times that he actually, they actually shared some time. And Johnny, to me, was never good at sharing stage time with someone else. If he was on there, he was going to be playing, and you were going to be rhythm or whatever. He was going to, he was going to do his thing. And that night, it looked nice. From what I saw, they did "The Sky Is Crying," and pretty much, Johnny didn't let Warren or Derek do anything. And by this time, he was seated only. He couldn't even stand anymore. Yep. By then, it was sad. He had partied pretty hard, and was kind of relegated to sitting while he was playing the last few years of his life.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You were at that festival. Wow, I am so jealous.
Yeah, it was cool. There's so many things at that festival that just made that festival unlike any other in my mind. So many just sit-ins, and I had left already this one year, but we got back the next day, and apparently Warren went over at like midnight and sat in with Junior Brown one night, and I was like, man, if I had known that was going to happen, I'd have stuck around to see Warren.
Yeah, some of them you'd never know who was going to show up with who. It was
right.
You definitely, and they played. The music went till 2 a.m. at this festival. It didn't start.
Sometimes later. I think I was there a few years. It went till 3, and then the houses around there kind of complained, so they shut it down at 2. But yeah, there used to be some really late nights, and then it would start again the next day at like noon. So there wasn't much time for sleep.
Yeah.
It just seems like those are the best shows. These Florida shows, these Atlanta shows, these Southeast shows, these hometown shows, these home state shows. It seems like those are the most special. Going back to Wani, I'm looking up exactly where that is in Oak Park.
My dream is that Derek and Warren get together and they put together a Wani festival down there with the people that they're into and all, and revive that with kind of the second generation of the Allman Brothers, and put that together with just great jam bands. And I mean, it was just everybody that played there, you just loved it. There was there was never taking a break, right? There was never any filler, right? It was just incredible band after incredible band. And Mariah, Christopher, the atmosphere, the Spanish moss trees, and the vibe there was so incredible. You pulled up one time, Adam, if you were there, Garrett, the guy was walking around with the big heads of Derek.
Yes, I was there.
That year, I don't know if that was 13 or 14.
I pulled up the picture on that episode.
Pulled that up that time. That was crazy. They were walking around. I mean, these were like 6 feet tall, and they had the pictures of just Derek and Susan's head, and they were walking around the park. It was hilarious.
Yeah, they got up close enough when I think it was TTB was on stage, and they held them up, and Susan, I think, even chuckled and said something on the mic. I don't remember what she said, but she made a comment about the big heads out in the crowd.
Yeah, you can't not acknowledge them.
Oh man, that was too much. Good times.
The best years of that festival, though, were when the Derek Trucks band would play at midnight, and they'd go from midnight till like 2:30 in the morning, and just they wouldn't quit that entire time. And like they'd have Susan out, and O'Teal would come over and sit in. Warren would pop out.
This was also at Wani.
Yeah.
So you had Derek Trucks band and the Allman Brothers with Derek Trucks at Wani.
Yep, you'd have the Allman Brothers from 9:30 to I think about midnight, and then shortly after midnight, as soon as they could get Derek over there, the Derek Trucks band would walk out, and they'd play till 2:30 in the morning.
So this was like from like 2003 to 2009 or something, Garrett?
It started in 05, and then
05,
I started going
05 through 09. It was the Derek Trucks, yeah. And then it became Soul Stew Revival, right? They kind of morphed into that in the last couple of years. And then and then finally TTB.
Yeah, the last like midnight one they did before they started putting other acts in that slot was kind of the start of TTB. It was, it was still kind of some of the Derek Trucks guys, and then they were mixing in, some of the horns. And I don't remember who all was on stage, but I think back on it now, and I'm like, okay, some of these guys are with TTB now, and I'm like, okay, that's what that was. That was them kind of debuting their next project, but they really didn't have a name for it. And I think they just called it the Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi Band that year, because it really wasn't the Derek Trucks Band. It was a mixture.
Yeah. I didn't catch it until it was officially the TTB. So I'm again jealous of missing all those times down there when they were forming, what became this. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Seems to all happen kind of organically and naturally and unforced and gradually, and even thinking about how the stories about some of the other members just became a band. Most of them didn't like audition. They just knew the band, jam, played on the song. One thing leads to another. Come do a few more shows.
Yeah.
And then before you know, it's like, oh, I think we have a thing now.
Yeah. We actually got to see Mark Rivers sing a couple of songs here in Atlanta back during the holidays. I posted a couple of them on my Facebook page. It was some kind of holiday get-together. It was actually Kevin Scott, bass player for Mule now, who's from Atlanta, put together a holiday thing, and he had pretty much a unbelievable group of people, and there must have been, I don't know, 24 different musicians came through, and Mark sang backup, and then they had like 3 backup singers, and all 3 of them got to sing lead on about 3 songs each. So Mark got a nice little rotation in there. It was really cool to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really.
Was it Christmas songs, holiday songs, or was it something else?
One of them was a holiday song, but he also did a different version of Fire and Rain. He did Fire and Rain.
That's what I was just going to say. That
yeah,
he's done it. I watch it fairly often. The version at the Warner.
Yeah,
with TTB. Yep. I don't know how many times they've played that, but I was going to just say they should bring that back. And I was going to ask you guys, but maybe Chad or someone else. I feel like it's come up, but whose version are they doing? I think it's the Bobby Womack version, but I don't know if Bobby Womack is the original person to do it in that style. But it's obviously not in his style as much of James Taylor. But I think it's Bobby Womack is the version, unless he got it from someone else. But yeah, I'm guessing that's the style that Mark probably did it in, more how TTB and how like the more soul version.
Yeah, it was different than the TTB version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little different from that. And,
well, I'm sure in some ways it has to be.
I mean, they had Dwayne Trucks played some drums. You had Charlie Starr on guitar from Blackberry Smoke, Kevin Kinney, Driving and Crying. I mean, it was a
lineup.
It was a great lineup, and like I was so glad they invited Mark to join in, because I don't see him a lot around here in Atlanta. Usually when there's kind of all-star things, sometimes he's not in there, but he was awesome. It was great.
Where was this?
Variety Playhouse here in Atlanta.
How many people does that place hold?
I'm going to say 1,000, maybe. It's kind of a pit down front and some seats, and it's been a huge music venue in Atlanta for a long time. Derek Trucks band used to play there on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I know it from archive.org.
Yeah.
I recognize the.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows at Variety Playhouse, Derek Trucks band.
And you've heard of Smith's Old Bar, which is where Susan's boyfriend took her when she, I think, saw Derek play for the first time.
Yeah,
at Smith's Old Bar.
That's a mistake.
It was funny. Yeah, there you go. It was funny. So Ann and I saw Charlie Starr acoustically the other night, and he was telling the story. He met his wife at Smith's Old Bar. That's pretty funny. So it's funny.
Has that bar been mentioned in a That Did It? Maybe.
Maybe she should.
We need like a list of what every single location that's been mentioned. Has your location been mentioned in a version of That Did It? They don't do the song quite as much as Susan used to or they used to, but once it still pops up.
Yeah.
Next time, if I ever get a chance to have a word with her again, I gotta remember. You say hello and you're so starstruck, you think about something you're gonna ask, and shit, it goes away, and you totally fuck it up and miss the opportunity. But I need to bring up Smith's Old Bar, because I think that'd be pretty funny to bring that up.
Is that near where you live?
Yes. Yeah. Smith's Old Bar, Variety Playhouse. Yep, they're not too far from the Fox where you saw them play. Nice. Yeah, they're not too far from there.
That's so cool, Mariah and Christopher, that you guys are going from Montana, flying to Atlanta, I assume, and then making your way to Macon. That's amazing. And you've never been, obviously. I think I've asked you that before. Yeah.
No, when do y'all come in? The show's on Friday. When do y'all get in?
Thursday,
yeah.
Thursday?
That's like my only fear is we're going to rent the car and then I've got to navigate from that gigantic airport onto
it's a straight shot from the airport to Macon, straight shot.
Yeah.
So all of you are going.
Well, yeah.
I do not have tickets at this point.
Kevin, come on, Kevin. Let's go.
I'm trying really hard.
Well, you guys were saying that's a tough ticket and a pricey ticket on the second hand.
I did a post on Cash or Trade, so
yeah.
Yeah, they'll come down as it gets closer. Hopefully there'll be something, but you have to be able to, make it happen, at the last minute.
Sure, I can fly into Atlanta and make it. I'll make it work. But.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe we can all meet up Friday before the show. All of us. Maybe we can all meet up somewhere. It'd be great to see y'all in person. I know I've met David before, and it was great to meet him face to face. It'd be nice to do the same thing with y'all.
Cool.
Meet face to face. We boogied the night away, Garrett. Man, that show in Chattanooga, front row together. That was awesome.
Yeah, I would have never guessed they started with "I've Got a Feeling," and that's one of my favorite Beatles songs. So I was blown away from the get go. But yeah, I couldn't have picked a better person to sit next to. That's for sure. Because you boogied as much as I did. You may have out boogied me that night.
This old man can still move a little, With
wife
the
gave
right
me
band, with the right band, I can still move a little.
Ann gave me the warning pre-show. She said, "Watch out for David. He likes to boogie." And I said, "Hey, I do too. So we'll probably be just fine."
Nice.
I
love to
I have
hear
to
it.
have my handler with me, and my handler to keep me in line.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, no, it's cool that you guys are all connecting out there. I love living vicariously through all y'all.
That's why we wanted to know where you were going so we could hang with you some more. You
come
gotta
out
get
here.
Out. You got to get out from behind the microphone.
I'll meet you in State Line, Nevada. Reno.
I've only been to Tahoe skiing in the winter. I've never been in the summer. I can only imagine how beautiful it is in the summer. I'm threatening to take my son skiing at Tahoe next year. We're threatening to do a father-son trip out there next January to go skiing. So,
do you guys ski? You have experience skiing?
Oh, at 65, I hope I can still move a little bit on the slopes, but.
But you do have experience skiing.
Yes, I do. Yes,
nice.
I would not get out. Yes, I do have some experience, but it's been a few years. But the thought of us getting together, skiing, a little gambling there in Tahoe and all, that's a good thing for a father-son get together, I think.
Oh, for sure.
If TTB would be out there in the winter at the same time, it would be a grand slam. But
I'm still.
Yeah, it's hard to get a Florida boy out there in the cold.
Yeah.
In the winter.
Yeah, but it does. It looks like a great tour. They're going all over. It's nice that they're. It looks like getting out there to everybody. The hard thing is all the tickets going on sale at the same time. I mean, that was So like I said, I focused in on St. Augustine. I made that kind of the priority, and then was able to grab Charlotte, but. By the time I got to the New York shows, wasn't really much there, but I'm still hoping that we maybe could somehow sneak out to the Beacon for old time's sake.
Yeah, I'm impressed we've gone 56 minutes and 50 seconds without complaining about Ticketmaster prices, and we've only been really talking about the band and music, but we can be honest about some of the other.
We did that before we went live, Adam.
That is true.
I got that off my chest before we went live.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, we all know Ticketmaster is not our favorite app and website, and prices of tickets have definitely gotten more and more expensive, and that stinks. But yeah, we got it off our chest. But I'll give anyone the floor to share. What else?
Yeah, if we could have those Facebook groups as active as that, talking about other things other than ticket prices, man. It was my phone yesterday was insane. Well, the day they went on sale, it was so insane.
Yeah, it's almost hard to know, or I mean, when that many people are voicing their opinions, there's some validity to it, but at the same time, it's maybe not totally reality, or it is what it is. If you have to sit a little further back or go to a couple of less shows, you make do. I'm grateful that I get to see the band at all, and I get to talk to you guys, and grateful for tapers, of course. I assume. Yeah. Oh, Mariah and Christopher, are you guys going to be able to tape the Dickey Betts tribute show? What do you know? Any policies with that?
Ooh, yeah.
We're working on it.
You're working on getting like permission or something like that?
Yeah, we know a couple other tapers who have been doing this way longer than we have, and they have they know people to find.
Variety Playhouse is a place where that's lots of tapes come from there.
Yeah, but this is the Macon City Auditorium. You're gonna have to. I would think that'd be amazing if they allowed that.
What about a stream? This is happening kind of soon, so maybe not about a Nugs thing. Can we do something? I mean,
I would assume they. I mean, I've heard it's Dwayne's thing, obviously, so it's kind of his management and he's kind of the one leading the charge, and I'm sure there's input from Warren and Derek, but I think it's Dwayne's. The big chatter I heard with a couple people was just like, who's running sound and, you know, who do they approach to ask about taping. So
I bet Alan Paul probably knows, or maybe not. I mean, as it approaches, I'm assuming he's going to be there, and we'll probably have some details. Maybe I'll reach out to him and be like, is there going to be a stream for this or something? Yeah. That's almost information I would kind of like want to know in advance to mentally prepare just in case there's no sound or there's no audio. Cause I hope something comes out from you guys, or otherwise that I could at least listen to the show. Yeah. But a live stream video would be amazing. And I always think, like, anytime I want a live stream, it's like, do it for cause, flash the thing. Sadly, there's always something going on in this country, and all these guys have their own causes and things that they support. I'm sure if you go to, I haven't done the deep dive on Dickey's causes, and whatnot, but I'm sure there's things that he would want to. Yeah,
I think some of the sales went to some things and stuff, and
right. I remember reading that.
Yeah, I'm sure I will Facebook Live a couple of songs. I'm not beyond sharing a little bit of what I love to share what I'm experiencing with others that don't get to the spot. I know some people frown on that, but I enjoy sharing it and with my friends that are in different parts of the country that don't get to all the same shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about the tickets. I don't know if it's good or bad, because the most stressful day of the year is when the tickets go on sale. But this year they put them all on sale in one day. So I only had one stressful day. Usually it would be spread out over, 5 or 6 different purchases throughout. They announce, these 10 shows and then these 10 and then these 10, and you're stressing every time you have to go in and try to buy. This time it was just all in one, and I surrendered that I wasn't going to be able to buy for all the venues that we wanted to go to, and we just tried to pick 2 or 3 and did the best we could with those.
Well, there's a venue pre-sale. There's a pre-sale today, and then there's a pre-sale tomorrow. So if you want Missoula tickets, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah. So Anne, my handler, is I don't think she's too into the pit, which is where I want to be.
Oh, well.
So
okay.
So
we'll have to talk.
We got to figure that out. How
the seats.
I want to leave her in the back in a seat, and I want to be smushed up against the rail with all the 20-year-olds, or TTB doesn't get too many 20-year-olds. I don't know, but
I actually have an idea.
Okay, I like it.
Because we have seats in the back where we want, so we can tape, like the last row. It's amazing. The sound's amazing. I will say the sound in the pit is not as good.
Yeah.
It's cement, and you're down low, and you're close, and it's amazing.
Yeah, you can get really close.
You get some winks from Derek, it's that close. It's amazing. But the sound is really good, just a smidge back in the seats. Maybe we could do some rotation.
There you go. I like the way you're thinking. There you go. I like it. We just need tickets somewhere, I guess, in this, that we have.
Need to get in the building.
Yes. Yeah. I did look at some hotels and made a couple of cancelable reservations.
I like it.
I'm already. We're going to make it happen.
I like it.
Can we get in? Cool. Can you get into Glacier on a daily? There's no daily limit. If we just have a day pass, we can get in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably buy it in advance, but
they got rid of the. Now it's first come first serve for the road. I think.
Yeah, you used to have
So the thing is to get there as early as possible.
Okay. Well, I'm an early riser. That's not a problem.
Yep.
Adam, we're trying to put this whole thing together.
Do it. No, I think it's so great that they're going to Macon and you're talking.
Yeah, and I'm going to Montana. I got to check off another state. I got to see TTB in a state I haven't seen them in, right? We got to check off another state. So Montana, here we come.
That's a goal. See TTB in all 50 states. They might not. They might not go to all 50 states. That would be tough. They're not going.
Have they been to Alaska and Hawaii?
No, we talked about this before. We were all about Hawaii. We were going to demand Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's a huge pain in the ass.
But Mariah was something you posted on Facebook that you posted to somebody else. You said some comment or something, and I said to Ann, we're gonna now do Montana because we were planning on doing Glacier and doing Red Rocks, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we can see TTB again.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're 3 hours away.
We're ready. We're excited.
Awesome.
So gonna put all that together, make it happen. Adam, come on up. Come on up to Montana. Come on up to Montana.
I could drive there, make some stops along the way.
It's closer to LA than it is to Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your excuse?
We'll see how the year shakes out. But yeah, it's cool to see that these shows have been announced and the band's getting back on the road. What else should we cover? Discuss? We could talk about this band all day, as I know. I don't know.
I hope Ephraim's back. I hope he'll be back with the tour. I hope he's back with the band, right? He had a health issue or whatever, but hopefully I haven't really heard anything, but hopefully
I think they posted, as they've been posting some pictures on, I don't know if I saw an update, but it looks like, I see pictures of him. I think he's still, he still seems to be part of everything.
No, I think he was. He just couldn't travel or something, I thought they said, or something, but now hopefully he's better and can, I'm guessing he's, back with them and all.
Yeah, I mean, still got some time before May, so hopefully by then,
We saw Gabe.
Oh yes, oh my God, tell us about that.
Well, one, I'm becoming a much bigger fan of Gabe than I was before. He's so talented.
Oh man, he is.
And I knew he was talented. I mean, but man, watching him, we were 5 feet away from him, sitting on a couch watching him play. And God, he is so good. And he just gets into it. And it was cool just to see, seeing him with TTB, he's doing all those songs, but then seeing him doing his own songs that he's written. And, he's been writing songs for more than 30 years. Yeah. So he's got a lot of songs. And he's just so good. He's really good.
And he played just different instruments. He played some guitar, did he?
A little bit, just on one song.
Just one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really made it so I could see more of the influence that he has on TTB than I realized. Like with their songwriting with I Am the Moon, how involved he was in that. And he talked about that during the show. We were able to request some songs.
Yeah, what did you get him to play, Mariah?
You guys haven't heard this story.
So the promoter was like, actually Gabe and the promoter, but Gabe, when we talked to him after the first show, he's like, well, what do he's like, what are you guys doing tomorrow? And we're like, well, we're coming to see you. And he was like, oh, okay, I got to mix it up. And which he would anyway. But, and then the next night the promoter was like, hey, what requests do you have? And I requested Coming Home, which is Gabe's song that I love. And Christopher and I were chatting about it, and I was like, and Christopher's like, what about Gravity? And I was like, ooh, he wrote it with Oliver Wood. It's actually like one of his, like, let's do it. Cause he had played I Am the Moon the night before, which amazing, of course. And so, and so a couple songs in, he's like, oh, I got this request. And, and he kind of nodded to us and we were like right there. It was so cool.
Man.
And he said, usually I play this with, my whole 11 other people. And I don't. And he was like, I don't think I've actually ever done it solo. So
wow,
here we go. And he just started it. And I was dying.
Where's the recording of it? Where's the recording?
I was dying.
Yeah.
We asked, and it's so intimate. It's just like literally in someone's living room. And I even said, I was like, we can just set it up in the corner. You won't even notice. Like I won't touch it. Like no one will even know. And he just simply said, oh, no recording. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
He did it completely solo, just by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end he goes, so yeah, I mean, I'm really used to playing it with the whole, like 11 other people. And there's, so I was having to kind of figure it out because there's a lot of parts.
So in the beginning of it, you could hear, it starts with him on the piano, and then he left the space for Derek, but Derek's not there. And then he just kind of stopped doing that and doing his own thing in it. And then he just, I don't know, God, it went on. It was like 7 or 8 minutes. It was pretty long.
It was long.
Wow.
And he tore it up. I mean, he really got into it. You could tell he was just enjoying it. And he just kind of made it his own without the band and all that influence, and just by himself, it kind of just took its own little life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I love
how wonder if he's gonna start doing stuff with
that's
him.
incredible. That's incredible. That had to be awesome.
I love how he.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love how he asked or said to you, commented that. I played. Since I played I Am the Moon, since you guys are seeing me again, I have to switch it up. Like, that just speaks to so many things, like his professionalism and his friendliness and down to earthiness and respect for you, like you guys as people, as fans. Like, he's kind of kidding around. Oh, I better switch it up. But I think he really does mean that. Like, he didn't play I Am the Moon back to backs. And it's a credit to you guys as fans, and being knowledgeable, great fans, and not that you'd want to hear the same song again, but knowing that, let's you're thinking outside the box, but also within the realm of possibilities, and it happened, and that's super cool. I'm kind of hearing it in my head what it might sound like with just him isolated.
Yeah,
I'd love to have heard that.
He was so nice, of course,
super nice. Yeah,
I mean, you were talking about it, Flamm, but just you're just like, oh, there he is. Oh. Okay. And then you're just like, oh, I'm just eating dinner on this person's sofa and hanging out, and he's right there. So you're just like, okay, it's all fine, and he was so nice. I actually brought my album. He was selling them there, but I brought his latest album to get signed, and he was like, oh yeah, he signed it. And we were just chatting, and I was like, so are you coming to Red Rocks or not? Because the date you normally come is booked. And so it's got to be the next weekend, or are you not coming? And he was like, oh, and he picked up his phone and was like, I don't, we always go to Red Rocks. And he really he really didn't know. I know he wasn't I don't know. I mean, he really didn't
Probably
know.
not official. Maybe it wasn't official.
Well, Mariah, we saw him at Red Rocks, right? You and I.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. And then the other thing I think is so interesting, and it kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with just today, it was pre-sale day, and then there's the next pre-sale, and then the general is all the sales and everything. And he was like, where do you guys live? And we said Missoula, and he's like, oh, how far is that? And we said, oh, it's just 8-hour drive. And he was like, whoa, crazy. And he's like, how did you know? Because it was in Seattle. And he's like, how did you know about this? And he really was interested. And I was like, I get all the emails and all the things, and we're watching all the things all the time. And I really think that they don't know what we're doing. Not in a bad way, but we're watching all.
They don't know how sick we are, Adam.
All the pre-sales and all the emails and all the posts, and all of us fans are. I mean, and it is a little nutty sometimes, but it's a big deal when you hear about oh my gosh, Mark Rivers is going to be there. We've got to go to the show. That's so cool, but you have to be on it to know.
We have a little group in Atlanta, a few sickos like myself, and so we're always keeping each other in the know. And Mike Madison's doing another thing here, and found out I'm traveling for work that week, and I was like, I'm so bummed. He's doing another thing at West Georgia University where he talks about the blues, and he does. And this one, it looked like they almost had it's like a reception afterwards, kind of him hanging out and stuff, whatever. And I was like, And I was talking to a couple of our buddies, and they're all, "Oh, we'll see you there." I was like, "I'm actually out of town." And Ann didn't want to go without me. I told her, I said, "You should go. You should go." And it's about an hour away from us out in Carrollton, but he's been doing that the last couple of years, and he talks about the blues. And I don't think it's the whole Scrap-O-Matic, but some. And I'm not sure. I don't know if Falcon's playing with him or not, but Dave Yoke will be on guitar with them and everything. So I'm really bummed to miss that coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I see Gabe has dates in March and April, a few in the Northeast for shows.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if maybe those shows you will hear Gravity. You know, maybe he'll bring it out, like it'll be part of his solo thing. I think I did ask him about that when I talked to him on the interview.
You did.
Would he play more TTB songs with his solo, or vice versa, or something like that?
Yep.
I loved when he opened. For that was awesome. That was great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you sent me a couple of pictures, I think, from that intimate show. You were literally in the most intimate setting one could almost be in for a music show, like in a living room, like couches, as you described.
What was there, like 20 people? How many people?
Yeah, like 25, maybe 30.
Oh my gosh!
It was packed in. It was crammed in like a show. Like
someone else,
big place, but it was a small room. So
it? I think Ivan Lutvin, who was on the show before, he saw Gabe at a private residence show, and I think it was in the Baltimore, Maryland area. But if I recall, even seeing some pics from there or hearing him talk about it, that was more like a small. It was a residence, but I think it was more like rows of chairs or like sort of that sort of setup versus literally like Gabe Dixon playing your living room. I'm like, holy crap, that's just pretty. Yeah, that's super super intimate. Like just playing on your house piano, essentially. Or whatever.
I'm visiting. My sister was a piano player, very good piano player, and I'm thinking about we would sit in the living room and she'd play the piano, and the rest of the family was just sitting there listening to her. That's what I'm kind of visioning. Just 5 or 6 people sitting around, and he's just doing his thing.
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
Oh
that's
man,
pretty much
so
what it
cool.
was.
And you get that sort of like dichotomy or juxtaposition with being a Tedeschi Trucks band. You're constantly having this like otherworldly spiritual experience of power and virtuosity and amazing music talent that's the best in the world, but at the same time you're getting a very down to earth, accessible, even intimate experience when we see them in theaters or wherever the case may be. Just something about them. And just seeing the way they interact with each other on stage and how they're literally a family, in some regard, Susan and Derek and all, being married, of course. Like you have that balance between an intimate experience, but also like an otherworldly one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. What else? Anything else? Should we cover, talk about, complain about, bring up, gush about?
Well,
get you guys all on to talk about Macon and the Dickey Betts show. Probably maybe when do you guys go back home, Mariah and Christopher?
Right now we're going home on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday morning or Sunday night. When are we going to be home?
We'll be home Sunday night, leave in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to do it Sunday. They'll be exhausted, Adam.
Sunday night. Okay,
that'd be a little much, I think.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to give you guys your I could do a separate thing for you guys just to talk about your whole Macon experience, like and even beyond just the show itself. We can talk about that your whole trip. Like that's fun for me too to live like. We'll figure it out. I'll be eager to talk about it though.
I got it. Montana does Macon.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Macon.
T-shirts. T-shirts.
Uh-oh, don't tell Ann.
We're kind of hoping they'll announce a second show or something
on
in Atlanta.
Saturday.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like I said, maybe you have some kind of jams or something. Like I say, there's some Grant's Lounge is known to
yeah.
There's a couple other spots that maybe. I mean, I've seen shows in the backyard of the big house. They'll have stuff. So I wonder if they'll have some other things going on, maybe something on a jam on Saturday afternoon of something, or
would there be something in Atlanta like the next day?
No,
We think
no.
they're all, or is everyone's just? I guess it depends on who's leaving town and how long they're staying.
Yeah, what they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would all just be in Macon, I would think. They're in, Derek and Susan's farm's not too far from there, down that way. But
yeah,
I would think it'd just be, again, it might not be any of the big names, but some, who knows what might come off of that with other stuff on Saturday or late night, Friday night afterwards or something. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I do have a buddy down there in Macon who I know he scored a ticket. He was very excited. So he usually knows what's going on with he's kind of involved with the Georgia Allman Brothers Band Association. So he's usually in the know about stuff. So if I hear anything from him, we'll pass it along.
Cool.
But I've not heard anything. Well, that's just, come on. Sun, Sand, and Soul. I'm ready for it. I thought you were going to make it, Adam. Thought you were, you let me out down. You're letting me down, man.
Find me out there. One of these, we'll see how the year shakes out. Maybe I'll find my way to a few other shows. See how it goes. But thank you guys. I appreciate the time and good to catch up, and Happy New Year, and good to connect with you, Kevin, as well. I didn't memorize every single show everyone's going to, so feel free to hit me up and anytime. I'm happy to get all of you all back on, and I'll start to. I guess I have some time to book recap shows that are in May, but I look forward to connecting and reconnecting with all you guys. Anything else anyone wants to mention? I'll do my plugs right away, and then I'll
just keep doing this, Adam. Keep us all connected, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm constantly trying to book more guests and more people and explore more topics and things like that. And I definitely appreciate you guys. Tedeschi Trucks Podcast.com gets you to the link tree, everything related to the show, patreon.com/TTB podcast. Please subscribe on YouTube, on all the listening platforms, like, share, comment. I think that's pretty much all I got. Thank you to the band fans, podcast supporters, guests. And maybe I'm sure I'll do something before have some episodes before the Macon Dickey tribute. But thank you again, guys, and let's talk soon.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
Great to see everybody. Kevin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet everyone.
Later, peace.
Bye.